Hey everyone, it's time for another episode of Getting to Know the Family. Welcome back to Getting to Know the Family, the show where we get to know you, the parishioners of Holy Family Parish in San Jose. I'm your host, Scott Thomas. I'm here in the church right behind the altar because I thought the altar would be the perfect place to introduce my next guest. He's one of the newest members of our family, our new associate pastor, Father Tony Famave. He was just recently ordained, and Holy Family is his first assignment. So come along with me as we get to know Father Tony. Welcome, Father Tony, to Getting to Know the Family. We're glad to have you with us today.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah.
So I was joking with you a little earlier that other than the child that was baptized just an hour ago, I think you're the newest member of our community. So welcome to Holy Family as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm exactly 2 weeks old here today.
Okay.
So
we're glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And you're also new to your vocation, recently ordained a priest in May, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I was ordained May 29, just about 2 months ago. I'll be 2 months a priest in a few days, so today's 24th, so 29th of July, I'll then be 2 months old as a priest.
I feel like it's almost like we're talking about babies, you know. Yeah. We're talking about weeks and months, then finally get to years.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you grew up in Nigeria.
Yes.
And what was your childhood like in Nigeria?
Yeah, so I grew up in a big family. I had my dad and my mom, and then 8 other siblings. So altogether, we were nine children. I have another brother. My brother is the firstborn, and then there were 2 girls. No, 2 girls before me. So I'm the 4th child.
4th child.
Yeah.
So kind of the middle child there, middle range. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the rest behind me are girls. And then sometime in 2000, we lost our elder sister. So right now we are 18
I'm sorry
number.
to hear that.
Yeah. So I have 7 siblings, and then plus me, we are 8 children in the family. So I lost my dad in 2007, and then my mom took the burden of raising us up. So. Yeah, growing up, I had my parents with me, with my siblings. So I had to, learn how to deal with different personalities right from home. How to deal with my younger siblings and my elder siblings. How to be obedient to authorities at home, the father, the mother, and also in school, So my dad was kind of strict. My mom was softer, so that was a balance at home. My dad could be very strict, but you go to mom and then she pets you, So that was how home was like, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what were your favorite activities to do as a child?
So I remember as a child, I loved playing soccer. I played soccer, played around. I remember with my neighbors, we learned how to. We use cartons to kind of construct vehicles. So we did all those kind of things, and we go farming, we go play soccer, even though my dad was highly against me playing soccer, because in his own mindset, he felt going to play soccer, you're taking your studies on serious. So you got to, be serious about your studies. Don't go play. You need to study all the time. So that was his mindset. So each time I go to play soccer, when I come back, he's going to punish me for going out to play soccer instead of reading my books. So that was my my dad.
But chance worth taking. About what time did you start discerning your vocation as a priest?
So I remember as when I was in my junior high, around the third year in the secondary school, that's when I started, picking interest in becoming an altar server at the parish. The parish is now a cathedral back home. I had my second Mass of Thanksgiving there when I was in Nigeria. That was on the 20th. It's just about a month now. I picked interest at the church. My parents used to take me to church, so I wanted to serve Mass the way those young boys my age were also serving. So that's how I picked the interest, and then started coming to church to be server at Mass, and then gradually, the interest developed over the years. And then I got to know some priests through my serving Masses at the parish, and then I wanted to also do what they do, to be a priest, a minister of God, serve the people.
So you were raised Catholic
Yes.
your entire life?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic. Initially, my dad wasn't Catholic. He was my mom was the one that was Catholic from her own family. My dad, he didn't care about whether you're going to Methodist or Anglican or Catholic. No, he didn't even understand all those nuances, all the differences. So he had a friend that was a pastor closer to our house. So each time my mom wants to take us to the Catholic church, there was a distance away. You'll be asking, why are you guys going far away when there's a church here? You didn't know the difference, So I give much of the credit to my mom because she's the one who insisted that, we have to go to Catholic church and not the church that was just in the neighborhood. Yeah.
So then, so you were an altar server in junior high.
Yeah.
And did you go to a parochial school, or what was there any connection with your schooling as well, or with the church, or?
So my school was completely a government school.
Okay.
So it was a government school, but then we had a Catholic who used to teach us Christian religious knowledge. We call it in Nigeria CRK. So he was a very good teacher, and he taught us Bible very well. He was very dramatic in the class. That was very beautiful. Yeah. So that created a lot of impact on me too. But the school was government school. It's called government secondary school.
When did you come to the United States?
I got in the United States on the 20th of August, 2017. My studies, I had, so in the course of the years, I finished my secondary school, and then I applied to a religious order, and I joined a community called Schoenstatt Fathers. Schoenstatt. It's German. The name is Schoenstatt, means a beautiful place.
Okay.
Schoenstatt Fathers played a huge role in my vocation. I was trained there, philosophical training for about 4 years, and then I went to novitiate, did 2 years of novitiate, then I went to do theology, 4 years. So after that, I took a break and wanted to be sure where the Lord is calling me exactly. So in the course of those years of discernment, I came over here to Santa Clara University's Jesuit School of Theology in Berkeley, and there I enrolled for a licentiate in theology. So that's where I deepened my studies in theology, and then I joined the Diocese of San Jose
Okay.
while I was there. Yeah.
All right. And did you start your seminary studies here at St. Patrick's, or did you go off? I forget where
Okay,
they're in Michigan now. Or
Oh no, that's
There.
in Mondelein in Chicago.
Chicago. That's right.
Yeah, in Illinois. So, so I had two schools. I went to Jesuit School of Theology here in California, in Berkeley. When I finished my licentiate there, I then went over to Mondelein Seminary, where I spent 2 more years of formation, and then I was ordained last May.
All right. Where did you do your pastoral year?
My pastoral year was at St. Nicholas and St. William in Los Altos, yeah, with Father John Ponsini.
Oh, Father John. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah, he was
connected here to Holy
yes,
Family.
yeah.
So
He told me he did his own pastoral year here.
when you're not thinking about your priesthood, what do you do for fun?
Oh yeah, so what I
Not
do
to
for
say
fun-
that the priesthood isn't fun.
No, so I mentioned earlier that I play soccer. I love lawn tennis as well. Studying, hanging out with friends, hiking, a lot of stuff that we can do. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most in your first assignment here at Holy Family?
Oh, my first assignment, the first job, my first job here as a priest. What we have been formed to do is to, win souls for the Lord, to kind of revive those who are lukewarm, to kind of draw people to God, because the priest is a bridge builder between God and the people. So to build bridges, to draw people back to God, to raise that consciousness that God is still the same person who loved the people of Israel and delivered them from the Egyptians. Is the same God who is active and alive in Jesus and still doing great works. So that is what we're here for, to form consciences, to form good Christians, good Catholics, and then bless them through priesthood, because we're ordained to bless people, Yeah.
What do you think the biggest challenge for priests are today?
The biggest challenge for priests today, we are in a very secular society that is no longer considering the sacred as something sacred. I had the funeral mass just last on Wednesday, and then it was as if the congregation wasn't Catholic. We began the mass, they didn't know what they were doing, and I had to, remind them that, okay, it's now time to stand, it's now time to do this, so they don't remember God until something tragic happens, or they're sick, or they get involved in an accident, or there's something tragic. The Lord is trying to draw their attention to Him before they remember that, okay, there is a superior power, there's a supreme being who is trying to control the universe beyond which I do not have powers to, So, yeah, we're operating in a very secular society with a secular mindset, which is extremely capitalist, and we're all thinking in terms of money, and we've forgotten that there's a spiritual realm in all of this. There's the creator of the universe is still God, and not the president,
So how do you break through that? To break through that, the loss of the sacred.
Yeah, that's even before you get into ministry, you already know what you're going to face. So I took some time to study secularism and get to know how we can navigate in the midst of all of these things. That's why instead of running away, we embrace. When you have a policeman or a soldier, if there's a shooting, people are running away from the side, but then they are running towards that side.
Yes.
So that they can. So that's what accepting ordination means for us. That you know that this is the danger you're going in, but you face it because you know that God, you're going in there with God, and He has endowed you with the graces to do the job. So, with a lot of prayers, with the grace of God, we're looking forward to conquering that and winning more souls for Christ.
That brings to mind an image of, I think it's in 2 Kings, 1 Kings or 2 Kings, with Elisha. And his companion was worried because they were surrounded by an army. And he's like, don't worry about it. Look up to the hills. And his eyes were opened, and the host of angels far outnumbered the army that surrounded them. So God is there in the battle.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Okay. How has how has COVID affected both the end of your formation? Your pastoral year was all during COVID, and now as we're coming out of it, but now a little bit of a second wave with the Delta variant or whatever. How has that affected you personally, and how does it affect your ministry?
Yeah, it has affected me in a variety of ways. I remember when COVID hit, I was in the Holy Land. Way back in January, we were watching on the TV in the Holy Land. We went to the Holy Land in January of 2020. So we were watching it on the TV in China and how they were trying to build new hospitals in a short time. And we felt that was something far away. It's never going to come to us. We never could imagine that one day the COVID would spread around the world. So it would become a pandemic. So we just watched it as regular news on the TV, and then we just moved to the next thing. Little did we know that it was going to become that serious. It would come right where we were. So we got there in January, February, March. Then, the Israeli government became quite uncomfortable and wanted us out. So they gave us a deadline. We were supposed to leave there on the 19th, but they asked us, okay, they want us out immediately, so we should. So our flights were supposed to be Lufthansa. They canceled it because we're not allowed to pass through any European country. So we changed our tickets and then took United. So we took United from Israel straight to New Jersey. So before we get to the seminary, they already dismissed the students, and we met an empty seminary. When we were leaving, they have this tradition that the entire seminary will come and say goodbye. So when you're coming back, the entire seminary comes again to say goodbye. This is about 150 students coming to say goodbye. So we experienced that when we were taking off in January, but we were coming back in March. There was nobody. In fact, they were afraid of coming close to us because they felt we came with COVID. Nobody could tell. So it was like, oh, you guys stay far away. So it was so funny. And then I had to figure out, how do I come back here? So I booked flights, and they kept canceling the flight. That took a long time. It took me 2-3 days to catch a flight from Chicago to San Jose. Finally, I got a flight and came in here on the 19th of March, which was just a day before my birthday. My birthday is usually March 20. So I came in on the 19th of March, and then the next day was my birthday, but the lockdown, I couldn't do anything. I was in my room all through. And of course, I went to St. William's in Los Altos. And since I was coming out of country, they were also afraid that, oh, I might be coming with COVID. Who knew if I was infected or not? So I needed to isolate and give a distance so that in case I came in with any virus, I wouldn't infect anybody in the rectory. So I was far from the fathers, I was far from the staff. I was in my room all through. So that's one of the ways that it affected me. On the other hand, in my ministry, I was ordained deacon during the pandemic. That was December 19. I was ordained a deacon when the pandemic was on, so I could only invite only a few persons. I was ordained deacon alone, so I had the privilege of inviting a lot of people. I could invite up to 60 persons. Then, in terms of ministry, I learned how to be a deacon in COVID. I practiced my diaconate in COVID. And now here I am, living out the first few months of my priesthood during COVID time. So,
Yeah, I see one of the things that I think is going to take years to overcome is that, your initial experience of like nobody wanted to be near you, right? And I think there's still a bit of that going around, right? In terms of that unknown, that fear of like, will interacting with this person make me sick? And I think that's going to take some time to get over. Even as, it's like being prudent, with social distancing and things like that. But, will social distancing become such a habit that we no longer feel like we can embrace each other and things like that? The thing I've thought of a lot during the pandemic is, how much, Jesus used touch and how important that tangible physical presence, is in ministry. And so I'm sure that also has been difficult, and we're still in the stages of this, hopefully the tail end of the pandemic, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm happy that you mentioned that aspect of touch. The question to ask is, what is the whole point of the incarnation? If touch wasn't important, there wouldn't be a need for him to incarnate. If the corporeal body was not important, there wouldn't be a need for incarnation. If physical presence was not important, there wouldn't be a need for incarnation. So these are the things we need to think about. And one point I would like to mention that, yes, live streaming masses is very important. And that was a response to a pandemic. But at the same time, it's important that we understand that without the physical presence, something is lacking there. It's important that we get back to church. It's important that we understand that God would have sat down over there in heaven and, just press some buttons and then Jesus will appear here. But he followed natural law, and the incarnation took place through the natural law by, Mary becoming pregnant and then giving birth to a physical human being who was both God and man, so that we can see him walk the streets of Palestine, can see him and touch him and hear him. So the importance of that corporeal body, that physical substance, it's important even in our faith.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Father Tony, I end each of our episodes here with asking my guests the same set of questions. Helps us get to know you a little better. And so we're just going to dive in. So, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word is L-O-V-E, love, I think.
Okay. What is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word? I never thought about that. I don't think least favorite word. I would just say hate.
What turns you on? What gets you excited in life?
Having known that I helped someone, seeing others happy makes me happy as well. Yeah.
What turns you off?
When things don't go well, sometimes when things don't go well, and I see that maybe there were some persons that deliberately did not want things to go well, then that turns me off.
What sound or noise do you love?
Sound of sounds of drums, birds.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Anything that is not organized noise, that's rather disturbing, could keep me, would turn me off. Even if it's a car, it's faulty, and then there's something cranking in there, that would be
Okay.
just annoying. Yeah.
Who is your favorite saint?
My favorite saint is Saint Joseph, husband of Mary.
Okay. So I haven't asked this of a priest before. So the ministry is your priesthood. But if you weren't a priest, what ministry would you like to attempt?
Oh, quite a number. I just became a priest, so
Something you haven't done.
So back home, what I did was I used to teach catechism. I love to teach catechism. So I don't know, maybe that's one of the ways I felt maybe I have a calling, I don't know. But I love to teach kids. I love to work with the youths. Yeah.
Okay. What ministry would you not like to do?
What ministry would I not like to do?
Or don't feel called to do?
I don't feel called to do. I don't feel called to do. At the moment, I have never thought of it out that way. That because somehow the priest is called to minister to. So wherever you are called to, as long as you can be trained for that kind of ministry, prison ministry, whatever kind of ministry. I used to be very afraid the first time I went to a prison. I was so scared. I was working with the Jesuits, and then they took me to the prison. So I was so scared. That's the one I used to think I can never do this. But then I overcame my fears, and then I felt comfortable, because it's just to realize that those who are in the prison, the prisoners, they're your brothers, they're your sisters. And once you break that, then you can work with them. Yeah. So.
What would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, wow. Welcome, my son.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's our time today, Father Tony. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of another episode of Getting to Know the Family. Thank you, Father Tony, for taking the time to sit down and talk with me. And thank you for watching. If you'd like to be part of an upcoming episode of Getting to Know the Family, please contact Christina in the parish office. We'd like to get to know you too. Till next time, I'll see you in the pews. God bless you.